Hello, farmers. It's Trevor here, and I am standing near our weedy barley field. This used to be our soybeans, so we now actually have some soybeans to feed to the animals. But at the same time, we got weeds growing almost immediately. As soon as in the middle of my starting to plant it, and I wanted to get this field in. One of the reasons I'm standing over here is let me hit Shift Z, and we'll go to our handy dandy growth control mod and see that with the crops growing at 8 o'clock in the morning, more or less, and 8 o'clock at night, it's a little bit annoying that, I don't have a lot of time to work on many fields. So hopefully, as we plant fields, I wanted to split this one off so that it would grow earlier. So we have one field in the morning, and our sugar beet field over on the island over there. That one grew at the same time, so it's going to be hard to get them both done before they're in the middle of a growth cycle. So I thought, well, let me just get this one planted, and the weeds started growing. I know there's a lot of confusion about the weeds, and I thought now that I have this growth control, it might be a little easier to figure out. But then, the weeds are now growing, and it's 26 hours into it. So I'm kind of wondering. I also noticed the weed thing there turned pink. So it seems that the weeds grow it just obviously on a completely different cycle than everything else. And I think I set them for like 48 hours or something, or 50 some hours. So what I'm thinking is that it may grow twice in a period. But I heard another YouTuber and maybe other people have confusion. Well, if the the field was half full of weeds, and I think it's because it's so incredibly slow. So what I want to do for a couple reasons, I want to fast forward about an hour, and I'll show you how little they grow. Like the other crops, all the crops update like within an hour or two's time. But if I just fast forward, I want to go past 8 o'clock anyway before we do our sugar beet field, there you go. So see, it grew a little bit there. But what we'll see is in this whole hour's time, it's really just not going to, there was another one. So it's like every 20 minutes, like another band gets updated with weeds. There we go. There was another one. I don't know. It's getting a little far away for you guys to see, but there we go. So now we're at 7 o'clock. Let's take our time. So in a whole hour's time, only, a quarter of this field got updated with the weeds, maybe less. If we look at our map, let's go over to, wrong way. I do want to turn on the grass. We'll take a look at what's going on the farm. There we go. Not even a quarter of the map. Like you can see up here, so just a little bit got updated since that. But so it'll be, I don't know hours more before all of the fields get updated with weeds. So that means like even while we're this one's been sprayed, I think, if I remember right, with the herbicide, so it shouldn't grow weeds. But then we'll harvest it, and I don't think a harvested field will grow weeds either. So that's another thing I think that's confusing people. It's not like the weeds just come up no matter what the field state is. But if we started plowing this field, then the weeds will definitely come in. So in any event, I don't find them too annoying, other than I think you need to be patient and let this ultra slow cycle go. So there you go. Well, anyway, there's the state of our farm. If we come back over to growth, you can see we got the first growth of grass. I think this time, we don't really have enough of everything, especially not if we're going to ramp up our animals pretty shortly here, hopefully. But we do have to remove the tops, and this doesn't have it colored, but I'm pretty sure this should be orange once we remove the tops. We'll see. It's definitely ready to harvest at this point, so we need to get our sugar beets. Let's go back to here. You can see the fruit type, sugar beet, pink, and this one used to be soybeans, and now I just planted barley. And the reason is, I'm just trying to get each of the crops done that we can do. We have a canola field planted, and what else do we have? That's right, sunflowers. We have sunflowers planted. Didn't do potatoes. Don't know if I'm going to. Not exactly. Potatoes are just so much work, and we're the lazy farmer. So, sugarcane. I've never done sugarcane. I'm definitely will plant a crop of sugarcane, even though it doesn't make much sense. I don't think to grow sugarcane in the mountains. At least I've never heard of such a thing. And other than that, we have everything but poop. So poop and potatoes we don't have. P and P. All right. Well, anyway, enough blathering on. We want to get our sugarcane going, and there's another little interesting thing that I think we have to take care of over there when it comes to the course play. So, really need to jump over here. So let's hit P and go to Beet technology. So we have our choice with these different machines, and I'm not sure about these here, how we would make them work, but they do an awful big area. So I'm kind of tempted to get one of these and just sort of experiment with it. I don't think they were in 17. I don't remember. It doesn't look like, it almost looks like something you need two people to operate, Or do we just go and stay with kind of what we know and get one of these, that's just, well, this one's not, but like one of these with a hopper, and we set a guy on the course play, and I don't know. I think I'm going to stay with what I know because I'm the lazy farmer in this series, and I don't feel like experimenting with that so early in the morning in real life. So let me go back and just come into here and see what's what as far as the headers go. Now, if I remember right, these headers should also potentially, some of them cut too. So, like, I think you need the cutting one if you use this one, but I think like the bigger machines cut the tops off without needing to do it. Yeah, see, like the topper is required for this one, but it's not for these. But if we're the lazy farmer, and even though it doesn't make much sense financially, 5.4 sounds a lot better than 2.7. So let's go with 5.4, and make sure we just lease it, not buy it. I have a tendency to buy things instead of leasing them. All right, so this is, what is this called? HR12, and it's Homer exact. So let's make sure we get the right Beet technology. All right, there's Homer. Okay, HR12. There's no other. Yep. All right, so we'll lease this guy. So these are going to be some awful expensive beets. So hopefully we can get this done in a quick manner. All right, let's hop on over to. Oh, there we go. Let's hop out for a second, even though we're paying for this thing by the hour. That's impressive. And it's impressive as a machine in real life, but it's also just impressive. I know it's not totally realistic. It's all a bit cartoony and in some way, but it is just impressive, from a computer program point of view. When I was a kid, you have to understand. I literally was a little kid excited about getting the first Atari system, where you had, just awful graphics compared. They were barely graphics compared to what we have today, All right, so let's see. Let's try to back up into the store a little bit. Gotta be careful. This is a tourney at the back machine, which is tricky. All these wheels turn. It can swing your butt in ways you don't expect it to always. I think we got it. Close enough? Yes, we are. Alright, we're out of danger. Yeah, that's just a neat machine. It's the kind of thing sometimes one of the things I enjoy the most about Farm Sim is that I can kind of watch videos and relax. And one of the things I'll watch at times is just machines like this run in real life. It's just, kind of amazing to think about all the technology that goes into this. All the engineering that has to be worked out to get this thing to accurately, and efficiently pick the crops to know where it's profitable. And I know sugar beets were actually a very important crop for certain areas of the United States, like the West. I mean, and there was like a huge amount of manual labor that went into it. I know there was, I'm not sure what they do nowadays. Be interesting to look it up. But they used to have like, unlike some crops, they would plant like more seeds than they needed, and then they needed people to go through and like pick out the weak seed, so to speak. So you can imagine just having to go through like these huge fields, like trying to pick out thin out the number of plants that you had planted. So, all right, what I'm going to do is, we've got to sit in the tractor in order to do this, but what I want to do is get the course play up, and I want to try to show you as best I can an issue. So we're going to do field work, and we're going to come over here to the field edge path, and this is our third field. I wish you could name your fields besides field 3, because we don't have them marked on the map like normal. But anyway, this is why I did it in the order that we created them, so that I'll have a better chance of remembering which one was which. But I'm going to just set up this course like I probably want to, which is to, sure, current field position, whatever, headlands. This thing probably doesn't turn well, so I would want to set this guy up to do 3 headlands, and hopefully he doesn't end up in the drink with 3 headlands. And we'll do those first, and then we'll do the rows. So if I come in here and hit calculate, and then it's never a bad idea to come up here and check, what he's doing. Especially in this case, turned out to be a really, really good idea, because if you look, let's see. There we go. We can see down this row probably is. Notice he's starting and doing what used to be the grass edge, and that's because that's what we had set up when we were, when I first clicked, find the field edges, and then I don't know if you remember, if you watched the last episodes, we had problems. So anyway, what I want to do, we need to redo the field edge. So I should come up here and just get rid of this. And we can calculate the field's edge. Now let's see if it recognizes. Nah, so you got to actually be in the field. So let's go and get this guy unfolded anyhow. We'll close that for a second. Let's watch him unfold. So let's hit G and then X. Now see, I think that's unfolded already. Let's hit G again and then hit X. There we go. So what does it have? Some kind of support wheel that goes up and down right behind where the driver is? Well, that wasn't the most impressive unfolding, was it? And I'm not picking on the graphics, just the... Alright, so let's see. Can we turn it on? Yes, we can. Alright, let's just clear out a little spot. See if it works. Yes, it does. Let's make sure we don't turn into our crops. Let's turn it back off, I guess, or... Yeah, see, that messed it up a little bit. That's all right, this guy will re-go over it. Probably could have just done the field setting we needed to there, but I wanted to get him facing this way. There we go. Hopefully we're in the field enough. So we'll turn this guy back off again. Alright, so now let's open our course play. And go back over to here. Oops, nope, don't go back over there. Hit calculate field edge. There we go. So now if we look, Yep, see that? Now, we didn't really look at the field edge. I probably should have popped it. You can view that, but, you know, now I can see that the field edge is right where it should be. It's not all the way over to the left another 5 or 8 feet. All right, so let's save this as number 3. So overwrite number 3. Boom. Now if we come up here and we pick number 3, which all of these settings are still the same. Let's make sure there's nothing dumb here. Yep. All right, so calculate for me, please. There we go. So if you notice, now this one is well inside the field, which makes a ton more sense. And I can tell, yep, looks good over there for the most part. All right, so being the lazy farmer, we're going to hire somebody and let him do all the hard harvesting work, if you haven't figured that part out yet. Another thing I wanted to mention to you is that you can actually drive around and set up the border yourself manually. And maybe once this series quickly drawing to an end, because once I get the animals and we can feed them appropriately, I'm going to consider this playthrough done. So just to keep that in mind as you, you know, like I think what I'm going to do is maybe do a few course play videos, make sure everything works like it used to. I know it's in early access, but you know, we'll see. Anyway, let's set this guy to drive in the course. Make sure he gets off to a good start. We got potatoes, or I'm sorry, sugar beets coming in. Yes, we do. All right, so let me go back here because we don't need to see all those lines. And we'll just hop out. Let Manuel labor go to town, right? All right, so while he's, how fast is he? Like, one of the problems, oh, you know what? Here's something else. When you turn off F1, the glance mod goes away. I'm not sure if that, I don't think that was that case before. It used to be up above the little helper menu there, you know? So yeah, we're already at 22%, so he's gonna need to be chased pretty constantly, I think. As long as he can make a whole row once he gets into his normal pattern, I'll be pretty happy. We'll see how well this guy turns around. Yeah, this is going to be sketchy at times. I think if we come up here now, let's see how well this goes. We should probably set our course control, huh? Did I go too far, or did he empty out already? No, I just went too far away because I was... What speed is he going? 7. Okay, so let's turn down to 7. All right, there we go. I think there might... No, the tree's right in my way. As soon as we get past that tree, I'm not going to be able to see. Let's zoom in. Back out. Cruise control on, but we got to be really close to this guy though. It's amazing I'm not triggering him to stop because I'm an obstacle, you know. Down to 0. Let him go on his way. He thinks I'm going to follow him. See if he misses much there. This is where they usually miss. Alright, so how much did he give us? 52,000 or 35,000. And what does he hold? 30,000. So yeah, there's no way he's going to make it around again. I'm not going to be able to hold everything he's going to give us in a second go around. So let's get him to, but this will be a lot easier because we have the second row, you know. Should probably. Go a little further down, and then yeah, I wish there was some way. They seem to be sticking their pipe out pretty constantly, so I'm gonna just take whatever I can get off of him and try to beat him down to that turn. Yeah, see, I'm full, so let's see if we can't floor it, beat him down, and I guess, will this go in the normal silo? See, I rarely deal with sugar beets and potatoes when I play. And I haven't played that much of Farm Sim 19, so let's take a look. And otherwise, it's good that we bought our magic 100 million storing root silo, you know. Just to give you an idea, when you're trying to calculate how much money you can make, and the reason that they say these sugar beets are one of the better crops, even though the price is lower, consider this. Whatever the soybeans, 39,000 that we got, was for that whole, certainly bigger field than this one. I don't think it's twice the size, but yeah, we can put sugar beets in here, so no need to have bought this other Quonset hut looking thing just for the sugar beets, other than, you know, we're going to get a lot of sugar beets off this little field, but for now our sugar beets are mostly for our own piggies. There we go. We have some sugar beets, we have soybeans. I think we have everything that we need for pigs, unless I'm forgetting. We can take a look real quick. Well, we don't really have much. Oh yeah, he's only half full, but I'm more curious to see what happens when he gets to his up and down rows, because it really annoys me when you can't, when they don't go a whole row, you know? He's on his third one. I don't know how well he'll turn around. Hopefully he doesn't end up in the drink. Alright, so let's speed one up and we'll pick him up around the other side. And that'll give us a little chance to take a look to see if we have everything the pigs need, just to confirm. I'm almost certain we do, but yeah, we'll let them get up to here. All right, let's come up to escape, and we'll come over to help and go down to animals, pigs. Yeah, wheat and barley is the same, and then I think you need either. Yeah, wheat, barley, and canola are like the same as far as they're concerned. And then like we need soybeans, sunflowers. I'm sorry, it's sunflowers or canola, wheat and barley, soybeans, potatoes, and sugar beets. Yeah, we'll have everything that we need. So, oh, are we getting hit by? Oh, geez, buddy, what are you doing? I was off the row. Why are you? Oh, you were making your turn, weren't you? All right, I'm coming. So he doesn't even have a collision as far as, he just rammed right into the back of me there. We'll let him top us off here, I hope. pretty close. And we'll make another run over there. And then I think I'll just cut the video. We've been at it for a little while, and we'll come back when we don't quite have a full load, but I'd rather start off our first clean row with the full load going, you know, the full empty trailer going. I don't know if you noticed when I cut in there, but that's the kind of thing that I like to do before I were to do something like should make like a little dirt cutoff right there, because, you know, when tractors pull in, a lot of times you get farm roads because that's the way the farmer drives, you know, and you get especially dirt roads, you know, they cut across the fields, or, you know, and all of a sudden that's where you have a road across a certain field or area. You know? So what are we doing? Are we going up and down yet, I think? Yep, there he is. He's turning around. So hopefully, what's he at? Yeah, he's only at 6%. He probably did like a little stupid row. So I will come over here, and I will chase this guy around the field for probably the next hour or so. And I will talk to you when we're done, and maybe we'll buy some animals. Well, it's getting a little long in this episode, so maybe we'll get everything ready we need to get all the rest of our animals. And we'll talk about what we want to do with that grass field. But all right, I'll be back when this harvest is over. Okay, guys, we're just about done our sugar beet harvest. I keep wanting to call them potatoes for some reason, and I'd say it's gone pretty well. He got stuck down on that tree at the end a couple times, but he didn't manage to go on the drink. I've kind of let him do his thing, but I want to show you. He struggles. Now, he might not struggle as much now because it's an end row, but like his ability to turn, and I know in the past, I think it has to do with the articulated vehicles. In other words, ones that, see how the whole front turns? I think that throws these things off. So as long as you close your eyes and you don't watch like his ability to turn around up there, if you want to call it turning around. I mean, I guess it is, but you know, hopefully he does a little bit better. Yeah, well, let's see. He's not done gesticulating just yet, you know. Yeah, see, like instead of just going forward at that point, he's got to do this extra little wiggle, you know. Come on, go forward, buddy. Don't drive off into the water on us. Yeah, see, and then he does. Yeah, see, now he's like ready to go, but he could have gone forward and been fine, but then oh good, at least, oh, I see, you were picking up that little extra bit. Well, that actually worked out well, though. I think it was luck on his part, not skill. So let's go chase him down, not that we really need to, but I don't think he'll fill up, but we might as well get the stuff on there now. So yeah, he's done pretty well. Like, now what I would say is I definitely, it's a little bit, I definitely would have done more headlands if I did the same thing all over again. You know, I think if you gave him like say 5 headlands, he probably would have had a little more wiggle room, quite literally. So like he'll get down here and get out of his way, because Lord knows what he's about to do. I did clean up on the other side where he missed spots, but he seems to be at least not missing spots when he's working his way up this other side. So, but yeah, like he'll do this whole wiggle back up thing each time. Oh well. Now, the worst thing is that his wiggling is liable to get us into another hour here. But it's been fine. And it's, in all fairness, I guess, you know, if you're programming for this thing to work all the time automatically, this isn't probably the teardrop shaped field that we have here. It's probably, more challenging than a square field would be. He might, I don't think he'd do that much better on a square field, to be honest, because even when he was, he had a fairly square turn up here, somewhat square turn up here. He still did goofy things. So let's park this thing over here. This is one of the reasons I left this area, is that I could stage stuff such as this. There we go. We'll hop over to him or her. What is it? See, I'm glad. I don't know. That's a woman. All right, so we can stop the driver, and we can clear out our course. So yeah, if you take a look at what we did 3 headlands, and I probably would up that in the future. So let's go clean up the rest of the mess she left. One of the things, let's go like here, so we don't, sometimes there's a few extra that you don't, even though graphically you don't see them, I find that it can have some extra on the edges that you might miss. But graphically, it's pretty, I think it's, my impression in the past, and I doubt they changed it, is that what you see graphically is what they're calculating based on largely. So in other words, if you're picking it up, and I don't think there's some hidden layer, it's like when you see things, generally speaking, that's pretty accurate to what you're going to pick up. So there are times that like a plant won't render, and at the same time you'll have, you'll actually have a crop in that little tiny section. I don't think it makes much difference. You shouldn't let your OCD get too far ahead of you when it comes to farm sim. All right, let's see if we're close enough. I think we are. All right, before we get charged another hour, because we're right around the hour mark. Oops, I don't want to hit this. P. Garage, leased items, return, yes, okay, yes, okay. All right, so there we go. We have some sugar beets, and to end the episode, I would like to talk. Let me go dump these off so we get an accurate total. This field is definitely smaller than the soybean field. And soybeans are a very attractive looking crop. Like, you go, oh look, you sell them for $1,300 or something, something high. And these sugar beets you only sell for $200 or $300. But we got so many more sugar beets off of a smaller field, and to be honest, with that machine there, with doing 5 meters at a time, it really wasn't too bad. So I have a handy dandy chart I found on the internet that says, well, this is the price you should sell things for. So let's come in here and hit escape, and it says that we should sell our sugar beets for $277. Would be a good price for sugar beets. So we're a little low right now. Let's assume my chart's right. It's based on numbers, even if those numbers don't match this map, which oops, that's not what I wanted to do. So we had, 272,500 of these. So if and again, keep in mind this is smaller. So got a calculator here. Oops, and then I messed up. So I got 272,500, close enough, right? Divided by 1,000. Because that's per 1,000 price up there. Would just be 272.5. Probably didn't need to do that. But and then we'll multiply that by 277. So if we were to sell all these at our good price, which is equivalent to the other good price, that's $75,000 we would have made off that field. Now, if I look at what is considered a good soybean price, this is saying $17,065. So on that field that was bigger, we only got 29,000 soybeans. So, we'll just do 29 times 1,700 and where was it? 65. 51,000. So we only made $51,000 on a bigger field compared to we will make 79,000 or whatever I said on this one. So, and that's the reason I'm using this good price chart is because, again, you can't, like, these prices are both low, but if the soybeans was high and the sugar beets was low, then again, I don't know if that goes back to this map, but in any event, we have a harvest of sugar beets done. And in the beginning of the episode, I was talking about what we're going to do, and I thought about something else. Like, I think I've never done cotton other than when I started an FS19 map originally. I had cotton on a field, so I leased the equipment, and I think maybe we'll, just for the sake of doing all the crops and playing around with things, we can maybe get some sugar beet or some cotton going as well. So as we get fields available, I think it would probably be good to do it in a bigger field, so I don't know what we want to do in this little field here next. Do we want to do the sugar cane next? Why don't we do sugar cane in this field? I don't know if you need anything special to plant it. Let's hit P. We'll do this, I'll do this probably off camera, the planting. Okay, it's not going to be there anyway, is it? Cotton technology. No, that's just like picking stuff up. Yeah, picking up the bales. And they really do. I lived in Arkansas, Mississippi County, Arkansas, the Delta region of Arkansas, they call it. And there's a lot of cotton. And they really do use trailers that look like this. I didn't see anything this small, but all the ones I saw picking up. Kind of interesting. The worst part about living there, though, is that they spray the cotton to defoliate it. And it's a mess. Let's see. Do we need a planter, I would think, for cotton? Yes. We probably have a planter for cotton, don't we? Not leased items, owned items. Let's see if our planter will handle such a thing, just to make sure. Yes, it will. So we can plant cotton. Now, is this how you plant sugar cane? No. So how do we do sugar cane? Do we need a special seeder for sugar cane? I'll have to look at, Seed Hawk. Seed Hawk is just additional capacity. I got you. How the heck do we plant sugar cane? Yeah, I don't see any of those doing it. Yeah, and I don't see any other section, so it'd have to be maybe some kind of planter here. I'm going to look into that. All right, well, maybe we'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah, well, you know what? I'll come back for the next episode. Maybe we'll plant the sugar cane then. And we'll get some animals going, maybe even before we plant said sugar cane. But I'm feeling like, the original series goal is pretty close here. So I am going to wrap up this episode. And we have, a wad of money up there. So we'll get what animals we can. I don't think I'm going to get too many of the horses. just because they take riding every day, and maybe we'll get 2 horses, because just getting one is, you know, you don't want your horse to get lonely. You want him to have a companion. But we'll get, you know, probably shoot for 100 pigs and 100 cows. I don't know if I said this or not in the beginning. Probably didn't, but I did. I used our sucker upper machine to suck up a bunch of the silage that we had in here. So we have no more silage in here. It's in our special, it's in our barn over here. And in the next episode, I'll show you how the easy, lazy way of mixing up silage rather than having to fill that thing up with bales and all that stuff. We can do it all right out of this barn. But that's for a future episode. So, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.